Amateur pilot David Ibbotson was banned from flying at night and should never have taken off on the night his plane crashed into the sea with footballer Emiliano Sale, it has been claimed. New reports suggest Mr. Ibbotson suffered from color blindness and his license restricted him to flying only during the day. Mr. Ibbotson, 59, and Saleh, 28, died when the Piper PA-46 Malibu crashed into the English Channel near Guernsey on the night of January 21. Investigations show that Mr. Ibbotson had requested to descend shortly before the accident, and a track of his flight shows it making a series of turns and unexpected descents before it hit the sea. BBC Wales is now reporting that regulatory authorities have confirmed that Mr. Ibbotson, from Crowley, near Scunthorpe, and who was raised in Grimsby, did not hold a night rating on his UK private pilot's licence. Sources have also told Grimsby Live that Mr. Ibbotson's condition may also have included night blindness, known as nyctalopia, which is described as a type of vision impairment. One medical report states that people with night blindness experience poor vision at night or in dimly lit environments. Pilot David Ibbotson, left, and Emiliano Sale, right. The BBC Wales report includes details of the American pilot's license which Mr. Ibbotson held, which mirrored his UK license. It states Mr. Ibbotson must have available glasses for near vision, and that all limitations and restrictions on the United Kingdom pilot license apply. BBC Wales also reports that Mr. Ibbotson's license restricted him to flights by day only. It is also thought that Mr. Ibbotson had originally planned to fly Mr. Sala from Nantes to Cardiff, so the footballer could join his new club Cardiff City, at 9 a.m. on the morning of January 21, meaning the flight would have taken place in daylight. But it is understood Mr. Saleh, 28, remained in Nantes for the day to spend more time with his friends and teammates. By the time Mr. Ibbotson taxied his Piper Malibu onto the runway ready for takeoff shortly after 7 p.m., it was an hour and 10 minutes after sunset. A simulation of the flight commissioned by Grimsby Live shows the conditions Mr. Ibbotson would have taken off in, at night and soon flying into pitch-black skies, also with rain and sleet showers hampering visibility. The UK Civil Aviation Authority (CAA), which issues UK flying licenses, said it could not comment on the latest reports. The Air Accidents Investigation Branch (AAIB), which is investigating the crash, said licensing continues to be a focus of its investigations. There is already speculation that Mr. Ibbotson was flying outside the restrictions placed on his private pilot's license. Private pilots are not supposed to fly for hire or reward, and it is believed Mr. Ibbotson was being paid for the flight. The Piper Malibu N264DB, which Emiliano Sala was on board when it disappeared with pilot Dave Ibbotson, from Crowley, Image, Creative Commons. It also emerged that Mr. Ibbotson had been facing financial difficulties and had faced a series of court actions before the accident taken by companies trying to recover money owed to them. Mr. Ibbotson ran a plumbing and heating company from his home in Crowley. After the accident, Mr. Saleh's body was recovered by divers, but no trace of Mr. Ibbotson has been found. It is not thought the accident was survivable. In their preliminary report, the AAIB said that because Mr. Ibbotson's pilot license and logbook had been lost in the crash, it had not yet been able to establish what ratings he held or how many hours he had flown recently, although it was known he had completed approximately 3,700 flying hours. Most of Mr. Ibbotson's flying time was carried out transporting skydivers on short trips around airfields in England. All those flights would have been carried out in daylight. The AAIB is expected to publish its full report into the tragedy early in 2020. Flight path of the missing plane carrying Emiliano Sala and pilot Dave Ibbotson from Nantes to Cardiff. Image, Adam Walker. Follow or contact Grimsby Live. Contact us. Email the reporter who wrote this story. Follow Grimsby Live on Facebook. Like our Facebook page to get the latest news in your feed and join in the lively discussions in the comments. Click here to give it or message us with a comment or story. Follow us on Twitter. For breaking news and the latest stories, click here to follow Grimsby Live on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. On the Grimsby Live Instagram page, we like to feature great pictures from our area, and if you tag us in your posts, we could repost your picture on our page. Click here to follow Grimsby Live on Instagram.